It's gonna be completely anonymous, so answer as truthfully as you can. All right. Only thing I want to know is how old are you? 20. All right. Do you think it's okay for a woman to hit a man?
Um, Depends on the circumstance.
Like what?
If she could actually hurt him, then that's a difference. But if she's defending herself, then it's totally different.
All right. Well then, is it okay for a man to hit a woman?
Going off a stereotype, no, because typically he has a lot better capacity to hurt her than she could to hurt him. So I don't think it's right for a man to hit a woman.
What about like you said, that circumstance where she could hurt him? Like, what if he's defending himself? Could he hit her then?
In a legal respect, I mean, if you go the definition of battery, it only applies if the batterer can actually inflict harm on someone else. So if you're going to hurt the person you're hitting and not defending yourself, then you're breaking the law.
So no. All right. Is it okay for a man? No. Is it okay for a woman to cheat on a man if the man cheated on the woman first?
No.
No.
To just leave the situation.
All
Two
right.
wrongs don't make a right.
Okay. So you'd say the same for whether or not it's okay for a man to cheat on a woman if the woman cheated on him first?
If someone gets cheated on, you should just both walk away. I mean, there's no need to retaliate. It's just going to cause more problems.
All right. If a girl dresses slutty and gets raped, is the girl or the guy more at fault?
Definitely he's more at fault because he's actually the one who took advantage of her, but I almost want to say, depending on how you're dressed, you're not saying you're off limits. So, I mean, granted, she still has to consent, but if you're going to dress like a slut and go out to a bar, you're not saying, I'm a respectable person.
Right. But that
It's not her fault, but no one deserves to be raped, but there are measures you can take to avoid sending out that kind of image to someone who might want to rape you.
I mean, I didn't ask you if she deserved to get raped. I said, who's more at fault, the guy or the girl?
I would still say the guy.
The guy?
Yeah.
All right.
He's the one who acted on the impulse. She didn't tell him to. Is what she was wearing.
Right. Which gender do you think is more violent overall, males or females?
I would say men are more physically violent, but women definitely have that psychological element to destroy something.
All right. So which is
I'd say men are more typically physically violent.
No, but which you said men are more physically violent and women are more.
I would go men in general.
Yeah, women are more emotionally violent though. So which type of violence matters more, physical or emotional?
Physical.
Physical?
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
Mental violence is, for emotional violence, a lot harder to prove, but I think physical violence is definitely more harmful in the short term.
Short term.
Yeah.
But what about long term?
Long term, I mean, if physical violence is going to kill you, that's pretty substantial too. But over a significant period of time, I think emotional violence is just as horrible as physical violence. So.
All right. Yeah, that's it. Thanks. It's gonna be completely anonymous, so be as honest as you can be. The only thing I will ask you is, how old are you?
I'm 18.
18. All right. Do you think it's okay for a man to hit a woman?
To hit a woman?
Yeah.
No.
What? Not even if the woman gets out of line or something.
I mean, I feel like it's okay, like, to hold her down if she gets out of line, but I don't think you should ever, like, hit a woman.
All right. What about, is it okay for a woman to hit a man?
No, it's not, but it's more acceptable.
It's more acceptable than a man to hit a woman?
Yeah.
All right. Is it okay for a man to cheat on a woman if the woman cheated on the man first?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Is it okay for a woman to cheat on a man if the man cheated on the woman first?
No.
No? All right. Why?
it's just like it's more of one of those things. Like if a girl cheats on a man, it's just like really like why would you ever do that? But like if a man cheats on like a woman, it's just like it's more of like you see it happen more, and like plus like girls just like shouldn't be going around like that. Anyway, so
All right. Um, uh, what about if a girl dresses slutty, like, I'm talking like really short dresses,
yeah,
all basically like a slut,
yeah.
goes downtown or something, and, she gets raped. Is the girl or the guy that, more at fault?
The guy is definitely more at fault because like you rape a girl, which is like messed up. But like girls also need to understand like, I mean like they obviously know what they're doing when they're wearing things like that. Like
Yeah.
they're wanting attention.
Right.
So
But you still say, the guy's
yeah, the guy
more at
like
fault.
that's just messed up. Like you should never do like rape a girl.
All right, yeah. Which gender do you think is more violent overall, like men or women?
The violent probably men, I would have to say. It's just naturally more violent.
All right. So, um, like physically violent or emotionally violent? What do you mean by
physically
what?
violent men, emotionally more violent women, I would have to say.
Women? Okay.
Yeah.
And which is more important, the physical or the emotional?
It depends on who you're dealing with, because you can be dealing with somebody who has like an unstable mindset, which then emotionally might be more damaging. But for the most part, physical is more damaging. I have to say.
All right. Um, All right, that's it. All right, like I said, this is gonna be completely anonymous, so I'll answer as truthfully as you can. Only thing I will ask you is, how old are you?
22.
22. All right. Do you think it's okay for a woman to hit a man?
No.
There's no matter what circumstances.
If it's self-defense, but I don't think I don't think either party should hit each other.
Okay, yeah, that was my next question. Do you think it's okay for a man to hit a woman?
No.
No. All right. Um, what if the woman gets out of line or something?
What's getting out of line?
I don't know. Maybe she talks back to him or something. Provokes him. She
his
provokes
child.
him. There you go.
There should be nothing that makes you that angry to put your hands on another person.
Okay. So neither of them is okay.
No.
All right. Do you think is it okay for a woman to cheat on a man if the man cheats on the woman first?
No, it's just going to continue the cycle. They should probably go separate ways.
All right. And is it? I guess you say the same for if it's okay for a man to cheat on no for a woman to cheat on a man if the man cheats on one first.
No, obviously they shouldn't be together.
Okay. If a girl dresses slutty, like what sluts look like, and she gets raped, is the man or the woman more at fault?
I don't believe anyone, you know how they say they ask for it?
Yeah.
I don't believe that's true. Like, just because someone chooses to maybe show their boobs or have on a little skirt it's not an invitation for you to just forcefully, like,
Yeah.
it's not okay. I don't think she's asking for it.
I mean, yeah, but I didn't ask if she was asking for it. I said who's more at fault. Like,
He's at fault if he chooses to force himself upon her without her consent.
right. Okay. Which gender do you think is more violent overall, men or women?
I think men, just because of that's kind of how they're taught to be. Like, boys play fight, and it's more acceptable in society for men to be more aggressive.
So men are more violent overall than women?
Yeah.
Okay. What about, I interviewed a lot of other people, and they said men are more physically violent and women are more emotionally violent. Do you think that's true?
Yeah.
Um, or mentally violent? Same thing. But which of those is or matters more or affects more? The physical violence or the emotional violence?
The emotional.
Emotional.
Yeah.
Okay. Why is that?
Because physical, you can have a scar, but it'll heal. But emotional, that's deeper. Like this,
Like
it
long
takes a
term?
longer time
Yeah.
for you to get over it.
Okay. All right. That's it. Thanks. All right. And this is gonna be completely anonymous, so be as honest as you can be. Only thing I am gonna ask you is how old are you?
I'm 22 years old.
22. All right. Do you think it's okay for a man to hit a woman?
No.
What if the woman gets out of line?
Woman gets out of line, a man should just walk away, call the police. They'll deal with her.
All right. So, do you think it's okay for a woman to hit a man?
I mean, it's a double standard. I mean, it's okay for a woman to hit a man in anger, but it's not okay for a man to hit a woman in anger.
Why?
I mean, generally when you think of a woman hitting a man, it generally doesn't hurt the guy. Unless she's like cock diesel.
All right. So, moving on. Do you think it's okay for a man to cheat on a woman if the woman cheats on the man first?
That's a tough question. I mean, karma's a bitch, but I mean,
Right.
not really.
Not really? Okay, so what about, is it okay for a woman to cheat on a man if the man cheats on a woman first?
I mean, if somebody cheats in a relationship, generally it's over anyway.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but in general, no.
But,
It's not okay to
they're
cheat.
never going to find out about this. So,
I mean,
like, they still want
yeah,
to keep
but
it
you'll know
going.
about it and you'll feel like crap.
And
Hopefully.
hopefully, all right. But, all right, moving on. If a girl dresses, slutty and all that, goes downtown or something, and she gets raped, who is more at fault, the man or the woman?
The man.
The man.
Yeah.
All right. What about the woman? She doesn't have any fault. Like she dressed in like
She's just trying to look good, pick up a guy, not
Yeah.
get raped.
a.
I mean,
Right.
she may have picked up the wrong guy, but I mean, but it's still the guy who did the raping. It's his fault because he did it.
Yeah.
It's not her fault. She's just trying to look good.
Okay. Which gender do you think is more violent overall, males or females, like men or women?
That's a good question. I think the male gender is more violent.
What by more violent, like what kind of violence do you mean? Physical or?
Yeah, men are more physical. Women are more mentally violent.
That's a very common answer that I get. So,
I mean, like, it's just how it goes. Men are expected to be more physically tough. Women, not so much.
all right. What about the physical and mental violence, which is more like serious, I guess, or has more impact?
I think mental violence is more impactful to like a person because physical violence, most of that'll heal. Yeah, it might leave a mark, but it most of the time it'll heal.
Yeah.
Mental violence is just always gonna be in the back of your head, like, oh, that bitch said something. I ain't gonna forget about that.
Yeah.
So I mean,
All right. But you'd still say men are more violent overall than women.
yeah.
It's gonna be completely anonymous, so be as honest as you can. Only thing I'm gonna ask you is how old are you?
18.
18. All right. Do you think it's okay for a man to hit a woman?
Hit a woman?
Yeah.
No.
What if the woman gets out of line?
I mean, I was just raised that way. Never to hit a woman.
Yeah. Gotcha. Well, do you think it's okay for a woman to hit a man?
I think that's better off than a man hit a woman. I don't know.
All right.
That's just the way. Yeah.
So it's more acceptable for a woman to hit a man than a man to hit a woman.
I guess. I don't know.
Alright.
Yeah.
Do you think it's okay for a man to cheat on a woman if the woman cheats on the man first?
I mean, doing the same thing that the woman did first isn't going to solve any problems. So no,
Right.
I don't think that's.
What about, is it okay for the woman to cheat on the man if the man cheats on the woman first?
Same thing. It's
Right.
not going to solve anything.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
If a girl dresses like, a slut, I'm
Yeah.
talking,
Yeah.
you know how they dress, but,
Yeah.
goes downtown or something and she meets a guy and he rapes her, who's more at fault, the guy or the girl?
I would say more along as the guy.
The guy is
Because-
more at fault?
You know what I mean? Rape is just so much more severe than just dressing in a certain way.
Right,
But
right.
yeah, I think the rape would be.
More at fault, the guy. Alright, what about, which gender do you think is more violent overall, men or women?
I feel like overall it's the man,
The men?
but different people varying on how they are. You know what I mean? But I think majority is the man.
Right, I asked this question to a lot of people and some of them say, men are more physically violent than women, but, there's other types of violence like mental violence, so.
True. Yeah, in the physical aspect, I think it's the man. Emotionally or like verbally, maybe the woman. Like I said, depending on the person.
Right, yeah. It's a common answer too, so.
Right.
Which type of violence is more severe, like physical or mental, emotional?
It all depends, again, but I think physically would be a little bit more severe because you could actually feel it and see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. So, physical violence is, more severe than the emotional or mental.
Right.
Alright.
Depending on the person, but in a general
Yeah, overall?
sense, yeah,
Right,
I think
right.
it would be physical.
Gotcha. Alright, this is gonna be completely anonymous, so answer as truthfully as you can. The only thing I will ask you is how old are you?
I'm 19.
19? Do you think it's okay for a man to hit a woman?
Well, I mean, sometimes bitches be acting crazy and you gotta put them in the right place. And by any means necessary, I guess.
Alright, so. Alright, you gotta put the bitches in their place. Alright, what about. Do you think it's okay for a woman to hit a man?
Hell no.
Why not?
If a man lets him get hit by a woman, he's a little bitch.
Okay. Do you think it's okay for a man to cheat on a woman if the woman cheats on him first?
Yeah. If a woman ties a man down, then he's a bitch. It's a pussy whip.
Alright, what about, is it okay for a woman to cheat on a man
Hell
if the
no.
man cheats on the woman first?
She's a hoe for sure.
What? Okay. What if a girl dresses slutty and she gets raped? Is the girl or the guy more at fault?
I mean, from the girl's perspective, the guy's at fault. But from the guy's perspective, it's like she's dressing like a slut, so you're gonna get treated like a slut.
So, what do you think? Who's more at fault? The girl or the guy?
It all depends on, from the guy's perspective, the girl's at fault.
Well, you're a guy, so would you say the girl's at fault?
Yeah.
Alright. What about, which gender do you think is more violent overall, males or females, men or women?
Women.
Women. Why?
Because they make drama out of everything.
Drama, alright, so What do you mean by that? Like,
They just blow shit out of proportion like it's fucking the end of the world.
alright. So women are more violent overall?
Bitches be acting crazy.
Okay. Alright, that's good. Thanks. That's all I have. Alright, so this is gonna be completely anonymous, so be as honest as you will be. And only thing I will ask you is, how old are you, man?
I am 20.
20. Alright. Do you think it's okay for a man to hit a woman?
Not in any case, no.
No, not at all.
Not at all. Restrain a woman, yes, but not to physically hit her out of harm, no.
Yeah. What do you mean by restrain?
Let's say the woman's crazy and wants to stab you or something. I think it's okay for you to restrain her, maybe hold her down, pin her down till the proper authorities come around, but I don't think it's okay to just knock her lights out and walk away.
Alright. Well, what about, do you think it's okay for a woman to hit a man?
No, I don't think so. I think for a woman to hit a man, it should be equal respect. I mean, you can't just expect respect without giving respect. Shouldn't be. You should have respect for the man for not hitting you, and thus should return the same respect. You shouldn't expect him not to hit you while you're knocking his lights out.
Alright. And what about if a woman cheats on a man, is it okay for the man to cheat on the woman? If she did it first?
As a guy, I would say yes. Why not? I mean, all is fair in love and war, right? Eye for an eye. But objectively, probably not. You should probably end the relationship right there. It doesn't seem like a very healthy relationship where if she's cheating on you, something's wrong, Either you're not doing something right or she's crazy. You just need to drop it right there because cheating on her ain't gonna solve anything.
Right. What about, the same thing? Is it okay for a woman to cheat on a man if the man cheats on the woman first?
Same thing. She needs to just drop the relationship if that's the case. Obviously, he doesn't respect you enough to stay with you and to have one sexual partner, so you don't deserve to be disrespected that way. You should just walk away. But, personally, if she did cheat on him for him cheating on her and they wanted to stay together, I see that as okay because an eye for an eye, right?
Yeah, alright. What about if a girl, she dresses like real slutty and all that, she goes, I don't know, downtown or something, and she gets raped. Who's more at fault, the guy or the girl?
That's a good question. I know a lot of people say that the victim is never at fault, but I disagree. I do think that they're both equally to blame. I mean, she's dressing promiscuous for a reason, showing off or whatnot, but she's putting herself out there. With anybody putting themselves on a limb, you have the chance of falling off that limb. So by her dressing skanky like that, you run that chance, versus her dressing down or dressing conservatively. Not many people are going to go after that chick. So.
Alright. What about which gender do you think is more violent overall? Males or females? Men or women?
In general, I think guys are just more aggressive. But as far as aggressiveness into violence, I think women are, because women aren't very aggressive. So when they do snap and it turns into violence, it really is violence. You see a lot of women on the news. Some chick stabbed the other chick because of some differences, or one chick wanted a baby and so she befriended a pregnant lady and cut her fetus out.
What?
You see guys doing that, that was on the news.
Alright.
I mean, guys, you just see maybe a bar fight every so often. They have minimal violence. You don't see a guy cutting another dude's guts out.
Yeah. So which one, guys or like women?
Well, what's the question? Like, which is more violent or which is more aggressive?
Which is more violent overall?
Violent, I say women.
Women?
Women are just more violent overall.
Okay, that works. All right, that's all I have. Thanks.
All
Alright, so this is gonna be completely anonymous, so be as honest as you can. The only thing I will ask you is, how old are you, man?
19.
19. Alright. Do you think it's okay for a man to hit a woman
Absolutely not.
in no matter the circumstances? Like, what if
Well, I
she
mean, there's always circumstances, like the extreme circumstances, like he's
what?
trying to protect someone, or you know.
What
I mean,
if,
like for like everyday thing, like
what if say a guy, his girl or his woman, she gets out of line. Is it okay for him to hit her?
no,
All right. Well, what about the opposite? Is it okay for a woman to hit a man?
no.
No. Why not? All right. Do you think it's okay for a man to cheat on a woman if the woman cheated on him first?
No. At that point, I think the relationship is either over or you've talked about it, right?
All right. Well, what about is it okay for a woman to cheat on the man if the man cheats on the woman first?
Is it okay for the woman to cheat on the man if the man cheats on her first? No.
Like same as the first one, they should just end it or what?
Yeah, like equally. Like I don't think that's ever gonna like make things better.
Right. What about if a girl dresses slutty and I'm sure you've seen how these girls can get all slutty up, goes downtown or is at a party or something. She meets a guy, they leave or something, and he ends up raping her. Who's more at fault, the guy or the girl?
It's situational, depending on like if she was drinking. Things like that kind of come into factor. But that's a blurry line. I'm not saying rape is a good thing, but it happens a lot in that type of situation, and I think females should be aware of. I think most are aware that like when you go to a club, or if you're going out at all and you're dressed if you're dressed provocatively, you're gonna get that kind of attention. And if you're going home or you're going back with someone to their place, you've gotta really know what's going on, and to then say you're raped afterwards. I don't think you can really say that. Unless you were forced, and it was very obvious that you didn't want it at all, or something happened and you changed your mind. Yeah, you were raped. I'm not saying that you weren't raped, but you're at fault for doing it, and of course the guy's at fault too for raping her.
All right, but what about who's more at fault? The guy or the girl?
Like I said, it depends on the situation. But if you're just saying that a girl went back with the guy and she was like, I don't want to have sex, and he forcibly raped her after she said that, then the guy is more at fault. But if she's just drunk and flirting with him and then wakes up the next day and realizes she didn't want to do it, then the girl is more at fault. If that makes sense.
Yeah, so basically, if he forced that shit to happen, then he would be at fault, but she might have not wanted to do it, but she was drunk or something. She was more at fault.
If a guy's buying girls drinks, she knows that he has an interest in her. You know what I mean? And she keeps playing along, and it gets to the point where he takes her back, and then all of a sudden she's like, I don't want to have sex. Sure, that's a wrong thing for a girl to do, like intentionally lead someone on like that. But that doesn't make rape permissible by any standards.
Right.
All
right. What about which gender do you think is more violent overall? Males or females? Men or women? Males.
Mm-hmm.
Well, why do you say that?
It's just the way our gender is brought up. Media. You see a girl crying and you see a little boy and a little girl crying. A little girl's gonna get the attention, whereas a little boy is gonna be told to man up. So, when you hold all your emotions and feelings in, sometimes you become a more violent person, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so,
So, I mean, you're saying, I guess men are more physically violent, aggressive, or what?
More physically, yeah.
Yeah.
Men are more physically. Maybe females are more, not physically, but they socially they're more they're more aggressive socially probably. But I mean, men can be aggressive socially too.
Yeah. It's a common answer I get too is men are more physically violent, but women are mentally or emotionally more violent. Which of the two violences, physical or the emotional and mental violence, do you think is more severe or more important?
I think they're both extreme. Like they're both severe. They can be very severe, and they both can be lethal. But I think that I don't know the numbers, but I think typically physical violence is more fatal and more like it's more direct. Physical violence is like it happens and then there's a direct consequence. So it's viewed more. It's prohibited or like frowned upon more than the mental violence. But that can like damage you psychologically, like for a really long time until you you talk about it and you get help. But they're both really dangerous.
Which of the two do you personally think is more important or damaging?
Damaging?
Yeah, just more severe, important.
I have from personal experience I know that the mental damage can really stay with you, and personally I've never seen the physical violence of a relationship. I'm sure that's really that can be really bad too, and that's probably in most cases more severe. But either way, depending on the situation, if you're always being abused one way or the other, it can take a toll on you as a person, and it can change you if you're always dealing with it.
Alright, so mental or emotional is more than physical for you?
For me, yeah.
Yeah.
For me, yeah. Because I've never had to deal with physical violence.
Right.
Or I've never seen physical violence
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we were downtown the other day and we saw a guy and he was hitting this girl. So we ran up to him, to stop him. And then today I saw them and they were holding hands. So so it kind of makes you.
Yeah.
I mean, the dichotomy between it is
the lines are definitely
it's
blurred,
not simple.
Yeah,
it's not a simple thing to figure out.
Alright, well, that's it. Alright, this is going to be completely anonymous, so be as honest as you can be. Alright, the only thing I am going to ask you is how old are you, man?
21.
21? Alright. Do you think it's okay for a man to hit a woman?
No.
Under any circumstance?
No.
Okay, not at all. What about, do you think it's okay for a woman to hit a man?
Depends on the situation.
Like what?
It depends how bad the man is abusing the woman.
What do you mean by that?
How many times they be hitting her and stuff. They verbally abusive, physically abusive, all that stuff.
In that case, then it would be okay?
Yes.
Alright, you think it's okay for a man to cheat on a woman if the woman cheats on the man first?
So okay, if the man cheats on the woman, if the woman cheats on the man first?
Yeah.
Yes.
Alright. Why?
I feel like no one shouldn't be cheating on the other person, but if you already cheated on your partner, why the other partner got a right to cheat on you?
Alright, so an eye for an eye is what you mean?
Yeah.
I got you. Alright, do you think it's okay for a woman to cheat on the man if the man cheats on the woman first?
Yes, the same exact thing.
Same thing? Alright. If a girl dresses slutty, short dress, you know how it is, goes downtown or something, and she ends up getting raped by a man, who's more at fault, the man or the woman?
The man.
The man?
Yeah, she didn't give her consent to have sex. that's still considered rape.
Right, but so you think the girl?
The girl is at some fault for wearing the dress that she's wearing.
Yeah.
Still, she didn't give her consent to the man.
Right. So you'd say the man is more at fault?
Yes.
Okay. What about which gender do you think is more violent overall? Males or females? Men or women?
They're more violent.
Yeah.
Men.
Men? Alright. What do you mean by that? Like physically or what?
More physically, more violently prone to hit women and hit other people.
Yeah. Alright, I'll tell you this. A really common answer that I got was, men are more physically violent, but women are more emotionally or mentally violent.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Yes.
Alright, well, what about which type of violence do you think is more serious or has more impact, the physical or the emotional?
The emotional.
The emotional?
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
Because like physically the bruises can go away within a week, but emotions can take longer to get away from you as a person.
Right. I get that answer a lot too. Alright, that's it, man. This is going to be completely anonymous, so be as honest as you can be. Only thing I am going to ask you is how old are you?
18.
18? Alright. Do you think it's okay for a man to hit a woman?
No.
Under any circumstance?
No.
Alright. Think it's okay for a woman to hit a man?
No.
Under any circumstance?
No.
Alright. Think it's okay for a man to cheat on a woman if the woman cheats on the man first? No? You think it's okay for a man to cheat on a woman if the woman cheats on the man first? No? Alright. If a girl dresses slutty or she goes downtown or something and she gets raped, who's more at fault, the man or the woman? The woman? Alright, why do you say that?
It depends on if she dressed herself like that, then that's what the response she's gonna get,
Alright, yeah. Don't get that a lot from, girls, but alright, good stuff, but which gender do you think is more violent overall? Males or females? Men or women? Who? Males? Why do you say that?
Because boys tend to have a lot of built-up aggression, and girls like to talk it out and crap like that.
You say talk it out, but a really common answer that I get is men are more physically aggressive and women are more, emotionally or mentally aggressive. Or violent, I meant. So, do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Alright, what about which kind of violence do you think is more serious or has, more impact, physical or emotional?
Well, physical is pretty long, but emotional because it stays with people for a certain amount of time, depending on what you're saying to them.
Like I said, which one is more serious? You said physical, short term, but emotional long term. So which one is, more emotional? All right. And that's it. Turn it down. Thanks. Turn it down.
Can you say pour that more?
No, quiet. All right. This is gonna be completely anonymous, so answer as truthfully as you can. All right. The only thing I am gonna ask you is how old are you?
20.
20. All right. You think it's okay for a man to hit a woman? Under any circumstance? You think it's okay for a woman to hit a man?
Yes.
Why?
Because men are bigger and they're mean.
Okay, they're bigger and they're mean. Alright. You think it's okay for a man to cheat on a woman if the woman cheats on a man first?
Possibly.
Possibly. What do you mean by that?
If she told him and was sincere and sorry about it and would never do it again, then no, but if she was secret about it, then yes.
Okay. Do you think it's okay for a woman to cheat on a man if the man cheats on a woman first?
Same situation.
Same situation? Alright. If a girl dresses slutty and goes downtown and she ends up getting raped, who's more at fault, the man or the woman?
The man.
Man. Why?
Why? Because that's a crime, it's illegal, and it's wrong. It's morally wrong.
Alright, so you're saying the girl is not,
She's not
she doesn't
as
have
a
any
boy.
fault?
Maybe that's just what she wanted to wear. That's all she had to wear.
That's very situational, but you're saying the woman is, free of fault, absolutely no fault whatsoever, and, it's all up to the man? Okay. And what about which gender do you think is more violent overall? Males or females, men or women?
In any situation?
Yeah, overall.
That's really hard because there are a lot of women
men, you hear men getting in fights more than women.
Alright.
They're almost equal.
Almost equal. A really common answer that I get is, men are more physically violent and women are more emotionally or mentally violent. You think that's true? Alright. Well, what about which type of violence is more severe or has bigger impact, the physical or the emotional? Emotional? Why?
Because it has way more of an impact. It goes all the way in. Physical is just your outer core. You can fix that. You can fix the broken anything, but inner core is where that
Alright. Well, that's it. Thanks. Alright, it's going to be completely anonymous, so answer as truthfully as you can. The only thing I am going to ask you is how old are you, man? 23. Alright. You think it's okay for a man to hit a woman? Under any circumstance? Like, maybe the woman got out of line or something. Alright? What about, do you think it's okay for a woman to hit a man?
Under the right circumstances, like if she's getting abused, I guess if she gets hit back.
Alright. But only if she gets hit first or what?
Yeah, I guess,
I guess, alright. Think it's okay for a man to cheat on a woman if the woman cheats on a man first?
I mean, this doesn't make it right, but it's done.
Doesn't make it right, but
People do it.
yeah. What about you? Do you personally think it's okay or what?
I think it's wrong.
You think it's wrong? Alright. So would you say the same for is it okay for a woman to cheat on the man if the man cheats on the woman first?
No, it's the same thing.
Same thing. Alright. If a girl dresses slutty, goes downtown, ends up getting raped, who's more at fault, the man or the woman?
It's just the man. I mean,
The man?
yeah.
Alright, so
I mean, yeah, the girl dresses slutty, but she's not asking for it.
I didn't say if she was asking for it, I said who's more at fault, so.
Man.
Man?
Yeah.
Alright. About which gender do you think is more violent overall? Males or females? Men or women? Male. What do you mean by that? Like,
I mean, just like if you look at like the typical, who everybody kind of looks up to, or like sports figures are usually like aggressive, strong, built.
yeah.
A lot of things that male likes are like UFC, boxing, things like that, contact sports, violence.
Gotcha. But I mean, a really common answer that I get is, men are more physically violent, and females or women are more emotionally violent. Do you think that's true?
Yeah, I guess it can be true, especially with girls among girls.
Girls among girls? Yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, I think they definitely get physical when it's girls on girls. But all right, what about which type of violence do you think is more severe or has a bigger impact, physical or emotional?
Long term, probably emotional, but like short term, physical.
All right, but which is more severe, like, or has the bigger impact? I mean, not short term or long term in the sense that.
And it depends on how bad you beat somebody. If you beat them like to the brink of death or whatever, then that's more severe. But it's not bad. Probably long term, just affects them mentally and shit.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Alright, that works. So, as long as, they're not beaten to the brink of death, the emotional would be more severe?
Yeah.
Okay. That works, alright? That's all I got. Thanks. I'm 19 years old. Do I think it's okay for a man to hit a woman? No, but definitely, he has the right to restrain her if, she's getting violent or something. Do I think it's okay for a woman to hit a man? No. I mean, granted, if she did hit him or something, wouldn't really hurt or cause much harm, but still, I mean, a guy can't hit a girl, so a girl shouldn't be able to hit a guy. Is it okay for a man to cheat on a woman if the woman cheats on a man first? mean, if they want to stay together, sure. What goes around comes around. So, she definitely can't complain if, that's what she wants, is to stay with him. But it's better if they just, end it. What would I do? I'd just end it. I mean, it doesn't matter what I feel for this girl. If, she cheats on me, then that's it. It's done. If a girl dresses slutty and gets raped, who's more at fault, the guy or the girl? Well, yeah, the guy is the one doing the raping, but girl isn't completely, innocent, so you gotta realize that, he might not have raped you if, you weren't dressed like a slut, so, it's she's not, a total victim or guilt-free, I mean, from the guy's perspective or whatever, or, he could use this as his defense. She was obviously offering, so, he wanted what she was offering, so, But that's not to say that I think rape is, permissible in any sort of way, but, just don't do that unless, you're fully conscious that that's one of the risks you're running if, you dress like a slut. So, hey. Which gender do I think is more violent? Women, definitely. Why? Because women fuck with your mind, like, a lot. And physical or emotional violence, which is worse? Emotional, definitely, because shit stays with you for a really long time. And, physical violence, unless it kills you, it's gonna heal. Scars heal. Things like that. But like I said, unless it kills you, the emotional violence, is definitely long term. So it's worse. All right.